the One Celtic Fans View. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. We are live on Thursday evening. Apologies for being a bit later tonight. I did have to take the good lady, the hand of God, out for a meal because I've been rather busy this week with work, and my work's not really work, but it is does take me away from her, and it's all good. Right, let's get to some of the comments first of all before we talk about Celtic. Celtic, that's the team for me. Celtic, gone to history. We're the finest team in Glasgow. Right, good afternoon, good evening, in fact, to Diane. We forever, one word, yes. Yup, have Celtic going backwards. We're going to talk about that in a second. Paul Immon's in the house. Lorna Gallagher is in the house. Good evening, everyone. Hope it was good. I'll tell you about the food in a minute. We'll get the introductions and everything done first, and then I'll tell you about the value, the unbelievable value. And nutritious, yeah. It wasn't. Well, I don't know if an Indian's that nutritious. Green Machine. Good evening, Baz. The crazy gang. Green here and all. We're forever. Diane says evening. Lorna Preliminary in the house. Lorna Gallagher says good on you, Baz, making time for the good lady. Always, always. She's the main priority in my life. And then, well, Celtic comes first. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Paul Bear's in the house. Green Machine's in the house. Northampton. Tim is in the house. Gordon Crouch is in the house. Graham Hardy's in the house. Big Dom is in the house this evening. San Fran Celtic. Barely slacked last night, buzzing for the new women's facilities. Joe Dock is in the house from Little Coatbridge Island, and we will seriously win on Sunday trip. Sunday trip. Keep the faith. Justin Joseph. Can you fix your volume? There's nothing wrong with the volume because I can hear it coming through the speakers here. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with the volume. So you can pull another leg on that one. Anyway, we move on. We have more than one system here. Anyway, right. Let's get to hi buys from Gran Canaria. Hey, Gran Canaria. And JT Boy 67, my man, is in the house. Norman Yule was just walked in. Joseph Murphy is in also. Right. My older kids are first in order. My kids first, Celtic second, business third, Mrs. fourth. Gordon, you've got it way wrong. Mine's was always Celtic first, the business second, the kids third, the Mrs. fourth. So you've got your order a bit wrong. I do apologise, says Justin Joseph. That's no worries. That's all right. Don't worry about it. Turn your volume up. Right. I want to talk about have Celtic gone backwards. Under Ange Postecoglou, we had a fantastic time. And it was a fantastic couple of seasons. We played great football. And most of all, if you remember Ange Postecoglou's first year at Celtic, when he had the conversation at Christmas time, before the transfer window closed, he had the conversation with a couple of players that were going to leave Celtic that coming summer. One of them being an Israeli player and one of them being an Australian player. The fact that Ange Postecoglou had those conversations shows that his man management was good. So then what did Celtic then do and what did Ange Postecoglou do? He went out and he bought replacements that would benefit Celtic for the next season. He knew that the players that he would buy in weren't going to be ready for that exact season, but he bought in replacements. For over a year now, Celtic fans have been saying that we need to bring in a new keeper. We need to bring in a new keeper. Today, Joe Hart announced his retirement, and fair play to him. But it's out with the transfer window. Have Celtic been negligible? Have Celtic gone backwards in this respect? It's all good for Brendan Rodgers saying when it comes, he's not worried about the goalkeeping situation. He'll have words with Joe Hart towards the end of the season. Shouldn't have Celtic have made. In fact, you have to remember during the transfer window, Celtic were trying to get the one and only Benji Siegrist out the door. Benji Siegrist was in talks with I think it was Sturm Graz, if I remember correctly, and he was on the verge of leaving Celtic, but then it fell through after a month of talks. With that being said, have Celtic gone backwards in the department of, well, one, recruitment, because let's face it, the recruitment is nowhere near as good or as um, fluent, as efficient. Sorry, the word's probably efficient I'm looking for. The recruitment is definitely not as efficient for the fact that we're chasing our tails now. Ange Postecoglou would have conversations with players, and if he knew they were leaving that summer, he would bring in replacements during the winter window, direct replacements for them. Celtic have not brought in a goalkeeper. Um, I'm just polishing off the Saturday carryout. Talking about carryout, hello, hand of God. I didn't even text her. Wait a minute. I'm going to text her to bring me a beer. Is that bad? Send her a WhatsApp. Sending the missus a WhatsApp. That's bad. So yeah, have Celtic gone backwards? Never mind Joe Hart. The best thing that happened could Brendan Rodgers gone as soon as possible. We all know your stance on that, Paul. But let's look at the bigger picture here. Have Celtic gone backwards? And that's the question for tonight. The hand of goddess. Um, it's a worry for me. It is a worry for me because when you look at how efficient Ange Postecoglou was in the transfer. Okay, right. Ange's dealings in the transfer market might not have been 100%. There's been a lot of dross that's come in on his watch. A lot of players that should never have been brought anywhere near Celtic. But when you look at the majority of them, it was players that done a turn at the time. We have not got that now. We don't have that. We're not as forward thinking. Well, you can say we were forward thinking last summer when we brought in as many project players. But who signed them off? Well, it was the current manager signed them off with the blessings of the previous manager. There's something seriously wrong at Celtic that you can go so far forward on the run up to the 9 in a row season. You can go so far forward. Benji Siegrist has to go. He's basically looking for two goalkeepers in the summer. I'm getting to that, Hazel. I am getting to that. Celtic could be in a position where this summer it's going to be a massive, massive turnaround of players once again, due to the fact that we've brought in players that are not good enough. If we have to go out and find two first team goalkeepers, now there is a goalkeeper that is out on loan from the Celtic youth team. I think he should be brought in as our third choice goalkeeper, so that we have a goalkeeper that is come through the system at Celtic and knows what it means to play at Celtic and get them in and around that first team. And okay, you've the other side of the coin can say, yeah, we need to get these young guys out and playing game time. Scott Bain's fucking sat on the bench for Celtic for over 7 years now. When did Scott Bain sign for Celtic? Let me get this up. Scott Bain, Scott Bain. When did he sign for Celtic? Because he's done absolutely nada. Last contract. I'm going to have to go back further than that, aren't I? Right. Scott Bain, ready for this, was brought in 2018. 2018. Scott Bain was brought into Celtic in 2018. That's 6 years of sitting on the sidelines doing absolutely nada. He had his biggest season was probably the 2020 season that we lost the league. So that kind of says it all as far as I'm concerned. The fact that Celtic are going to have to go out and we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming. Celtic fans have been crying out for it. Is it negligence by the recruitment team? Is it negligence by Brendan Rodgers? The finger has to be pointed. Brendan Rodgers came out during, or was it just before December, and said, I'm not worried about the goalkeeping position. We'll sit down and we'll have a talk with Joe towards the end of the season. Towards the end of the season is not the way that Ange Postecoglou would have done it. You know, if a player is going to leave or going to retire at the end of the season, you talk about it 6 months before. You don't talk about it with 12 games left to play. You definitely do not talk about it with 12 games left to play. That's only my opinion. But if you're an organisation, if you can think of you've got see when you're self-employed, you used to get a thing called key man insurance. Key man insurance, and because if you're the main man in a sole tradership, if you go down, if it's man down, and you can't work, you would have insurance that would cover that. In football terms, key man insurance is forward thinking. Celtic are not forward thinking. They're not forward thinking at all. We're very reactive as a club now. The last time that we were forward thinking was, you could say, was last summer, and the recruitment team got it way wrong, absolutely way wrong. Celtic have let their foot off the pedal, and they have gone backwards as far as I am concerned now. Scott Bain couldn't catch a slap in the face at Devonish. Woo! Oh, come on, we're not going to talk about the big black bobby. Anyway, Cryptic Clue, there were so many noodles in the soup. They're only too tasty. Yes, a rebuild on the way due to Lawwells. Let's get some of the comments in. John Shirley says, Marino can't get us out of this buzz. And he's a skeleton. George Shirley, don't take this morning's video serious. Jesus, it wasn't me that wrote the script for that. It was other media outlets. I was only reporting on what was getting said in the media. That's what the morning news bulletin is all about. It's all about giving you your Celtic news on the day. When Don Mackay got forced, right, Sacrio Gun, you have won the internet today. You've got it as fact. When Don Mackay was forced out of Celtic, it's when we melted. Don Mackay was brought in as a new Don. He was brought in with the new manager as a new Don and a new way forward for Celtic. Celtic were going to be a club that were looking towards Europe, towards big successes, towards building a new beginning, a new beginning. And we all remember those days, those dark days. Well, it was a bright light of hope, and everyone was saying, "Who is this guy, Postecoglou?" Never mind who's the guy Postecoglou. It's who's this guy that's came in from Scottish rugby. Who's the guy that's been at Scottish rugby for years? Okay, he's a Celtic fan. It was probably the best thing to nearly have happened to Celtic. And I think we're going to rue the day, and I think we're going to look back. And I certainly did at the time. I certainly think that when he was forced out of Celtic because he wasn't part of the family, he wasn't part of the family. You know what I mean? You see fucking Peggy Mitchell sitting in the background, and then you've got the Mitchell brothers. Well, it's not. It's the Lawwell son and father that's running the gaff, and that's the true fact of it. In fact, Peggy Mitchell is Dermot Desmond. Peggy Mitchell is Dermot Desmond, and the Mitchell brothers are Lawwell and his son. That's what is running Celtic. The family. The family. It's all about family. Celtic have gone backwards as far as I'm concerned. And Sackville Gun, you have won the day. How do I give that hearts or something? Do you know what I mean? Click on that and going on. But yes, the day that Don Mackay was forced out is the day we melted. Norman Newell says, well, considering that we're winning everything, now we're winning nothing. Yes, we've gone backwards. Or best static. Slaven says Celtic have gone backwards. Aye, of course, we've dropped 7 point leads and now two behind Bog Standard, the Rangers. Brendan's unwillingness to adapt and change what he does obviously is a big part to blame for these games and drop points. Injuries aside, we still have the best team in Scotland, so no excuses. San Fran Celtic says we have two decent keepers competing for one spot. No need for a third. If Benji Siegrist was as good, Benji Siegrist was a player that got relegated with Dundee United. Let's not forget that. He was a player that got relegated with Dundee United. He then went on to have one good season with Dundee United when he came back up, and then Celtic got him out of freedom of contract. We paid nothing for Benji Siegrist. Benji Siegrist has been unable to force his way into even second choice keeper at Celtic, which says to me that there's a lot going on in the background. What do you mean, Jose Mourinho likes? Martin, listen to what I've said. This morning's video wasn't me. Baz TV soap 80s Brookside. Woohoo! Don Mackay is Celtic child case. Cold case. Celtic cold case. Don Mackay. Martin Corrigan says, evening. Strange Love Doctor says, didn't Don the rugby guy get sacked? No, he didn't. He didn't get sacked. Did he get sacked for giving McCarthy a 5-year contract? No, he didn't get sacked for giving McCarthy a 5-year contract. He was basically pushed out the door. He got another job with another company and he was basically pushed out the door. I've been there myself. I worked for Duncan Barentine. I was sales and marketing manager for Duncan Barentine. And someday, even though I took the club that one gym from £1.1 million profit to £1.5 million profit in the space of 6 months, somebody doesn't like your face, they make sure that you can't get on. So, when it comes to high level stuff like that, you just fucking walk. You just walk. Hail troops from Germany, says Stephen Cassidy. Paul Emery says, I was at the doctor's today, my blood pressure checked. When the nurse told my tattoo, your blood pressure should be through the roof the way your team's playing. Yeah. Martin says, Ange wasn't Dom appointment. He was Lawwell. Everyone seems to forget this about Lennon, Rogers, Dom. It was DD. You need to remember this. The board wanted a different manager. Now we can see why. We need to stop the treble, says Tama. John Shirley says, Baz, watch the game. On Sunday, Mourinho is a guest with the board. Look at the way the team we have. Mourinho will not be a guest of the board. Come on. This morning's video was all about the fact that it was someone on Talk Sport that was talking about it. So it was all an opinion. And as per normal, the media grabs a hold of it and everyone pushes it. And yeah, it makes it for a good talking point. That's basically about it. Sanford Celtic says Big Dunk's a hun. Don't let Jose near the place. I don't think we will. Jose's are coming here for fuck's sake. Oh my goodness. Hail, Stuart House Trick, says Paul Emery. And Danny Boy says Dermot Desmond may release his tight grip of Celtic. Football has changed dramatically since he took charge. We desperately need fresh young blood. Danny Boy, that's why his son has taken over all his business duties, because he sees himself as a dinosaur and he can't go on forever. And his son is taking over a lot of his positions on board, etc. Steve Clark. The hand of God has just walked into the room. It's not even green mouth, it's a red one. Was she playing it? That's a red mouth. Anyway, Steve Clark, there's not a chance that Steve Clark should get anywhere near Celtic. Let me just sort this out. That's a bit better. Right. Let me see what Celtic headlines are kicking about this evening, because it is the one Celtic fans' view. Clark, here we go again, says Tom. Celtic Soul 7 says, right, let's have it. The Green Brigade nonsense cost us 6 points. It won't be forgotten. The Green Brigade cost us 6 points. Oh, baby. Me. Oh, the agreement says one of Celtic's best scout was John Parks. He's since left in 2016 and brilliant. Right, wait a minute. John Parks went to Sevco, went to the Rangers. He went there and he's since been sacked and he's moved on. Baz, what did you pay to bring her that? Here, nothing. I sent her a WhatsApp via the laptop. I'm waiting on a fish supper getting delivered. Talking about food. We were late tonight because I did take her out for a meal. And listen to this for value. We went out for a 3-course Indian menu del dia, and it was only €30 for the food and drinks. Unbelievable value. See the value you get here in Spain. It's unbelievable. The Green Brigade are the very best of us. Yes, they are, said San Van Celtic. Was Lawwell banned, the Green Brigade? I don't know what you're talking about there. Stephen Clark, no way, says Lorna. Right, let's see what the Celtic headlines are talking about. Obviously, everything will be talking about Joe Hart. You're going to be prize. Peter Grant picks his shot front three. Celtic boast healthy transfer spend over 10 years with Rangers in the red. Yeah, we know that. What will Joe Hart's Celtic legacy be after the Celtic keeper calls time on career? His legacy will be that he won a double and then he won a treble. And that is it. His legacy will be that. He was at Celtic at a time of transition. Stupid headline. Celtic squad can't be happy as pundit demands players go at each other. No, when players start having a go at each other, that's when things start going really wrong. A bunch of Hart saves, best of Celtic at the BBC. Celtic dwarf Rangers in transfer income as player trading model pays off long term, and that's a headline in the Daily Rangers. Surprised at Celtic player situation after January move failure. Rodgers might as well let him leave. And then Raheem Sterling leaves at Joe Hart tributes as Celtic star vows to finish the right way. Celtic and Brighton are seemingly battling it out for a Charlton athletic player. So let's have a look at that article. Celtic and Brighton are seemingly battling European clubs for Charlton athletic player. Charlton athletic youngster Patrick Casey is attracting interest from Club Brugge, Royal Union, Celtic, and Brighton. Charlton Athletic feel the 18-year-old name is fuck off. That's it. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know with that one. There is nothing to see here. Move along. I'm going to do my Star Wars thing. There's nothing to see here. Move along. Jesus. Anyway, Martin, you took the words out of my mouth. What is Martin saying to? Let's get back into the comments section this evening. Martin, we should just go and get Derek McInnes. I'm going to say something. Would Derek McInnes become Celtic manager? Would Derek McInnes become Celtic manager if offered the job? Would Celtic fans accept Derek McInnes if he was offered the job? He's done it at Aberdeen. He's had Aberdeen up there fighting for things. He's got Aberdeen to Scottish Cup finals with a lot less budget. He's now doing the same with Kilmarnock. Would Derek McInnes be accepted by the Celtic fans? Patrick Vieira. No chance, Baz, says Dells. Not a chance, says Paul Baird. And I'm just going by the comments. I'm feeding off the comments. No, for fuck's sake, things aren't that bad. Derek, we used to be at Crystal Palace. We don't want a Hun manager. He's a Hun. What says Mark Brown? I'm only going off the comments. I'm feeding off the comments this evening. I'm opening the channel up to all the Celtic fans that are on the live, and there's over 204 watching at the current moment. I am opening up to the panel. As they say, nope, nah, he's a Hun. What? Big Jock was a Hun. Yes, he was in his younger days, but we move on for that. We do move on from that. Oh, I would take Derek McInnes. Don't care if he's Hun or not. He's a good manager. The only reason I'm asking, somebody put it up, and it's like, no way. Let's raise the bar and go for Zinedine. Not a chance. We're not going to go that high. I would feel down. We could sing up, cheer up, Del McInnes. Mark Brown says he's not even good enough. Plus, he's a Hun. Fucking troller bars. Look, I'm only just going to the comments. I think we should. It's good sometimes. It's good to talk, right? It's good to talk. Listen, this is YouTube. It is not a professional forum where professionals should be. It's YouTube, right? It's YouTube. It is working men's media, right? It's not professional media. It is all about an average guy having the ability to come onto a platform and create awareness and create a community, right? No journals allowed. I'm going to make that in a tune. Who remembers the Big Jock played for Celtic. He was a legend. He's done the job at Kilmarnock. Shows he's good enough, says Danny Boy. Whilst the sash, he sings this, he whistles the sash when he's having a wash. Fuck off. Here's the thing: Celtic spent money in January on transfers. Sevco got the transfer on credit. Then go top. Just saying, says Norman. Don't get people talking about Mick. God's sake. Right, let me see. Scott Bain. Obviously, Scott Bain. Celtic only paid 400 grand for Scott Bain. Is it not about time that we'll let him go? I mean, he got a brand new contract at Celtic in 2022. It says that Scott Bain's. That can't be right. Transfer Market says that Scott Bain's contract is up at the end of the season. He got a new contract last year, didn't he? At his height, Scott Bain was worth 800 grand. Now he's worth 300. Celtic bought him for 350. Woo! And position goalkeeper. How many games has he played for Celtic? That's going to be a quiz question in years to come. That's going to be an absolute quiz question in years to come. What keeper was at Celtic for 7 years and played a grand total of how many games? Anyway, Scott Bain! You fucking remember him? You fucking wanker. I'd love to be a guy with Tourette's and you're talking about Scott Bain. Fucking prick! Tom Max says, then it was a techno tune in the 90s. It was a techno tune in the 20s. What Tom? No women alive. That's the tune. See, Tom Mac. That Tom, you knew the tune I was on about. Tom Mac is an absolute legend, and I've still got that on vinyl. No woman allowed. I'm going to get that on. No, we can't play it because it'll not come through. Yeah, that was a banging tune. Hardcore techno tune. That was a tune and a half. Tom Mac, I don my hat to you this evening. I don my hat to you this evening. That's brilliant. I love it. I love it. That was a fantastic. Go after you come off this live. Go into YouTube and Google. And in fact, I'll tell you just now exactly. I'll put a link in YouTube, and I'll get the song up for you. Sperminator. That was fucking brilliant. Do you know how long it took me to get this on vinyl back in the day? Oh, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was still, oh, I've got to let listen to that. Celtic needs some of this playing in Celtic Park at half time. Anyway, that's enough of that. That was a tune. I'm going to put that in the comments and go and listen to it once the video is finished. Is that even coming through? Ah. He's a bit right. I'm going to put that. Taps that off the radio. Pinned message. There we go. It's a pinned message. Right, let's get back to some of the tunes. John Schiller says, Baz, I'm 10 times better than John Park at scouting. So why can't we get a fucking scouting job? Why, Baz? I don't know. Baz, get some hackers, lol, to mess with Paradise Audio. Can you remember? I put up a video years ago, actually. We're going to go off. We're just going to go off on a tangent now. I put up a video of a guy hacking. No, of a guy hacking the audio in a shop, and he put up Celtic tunes. Was it on a short? I'll put it up in the community tab later on. I'll put it up in the community tab later on. Celtic Robert. Baz, what are you on tonight? Lol. Nothing. Well, I've just had a fantastic day. See, sometimes when you just have a really good day, life's good. You know what I mean? Life's good, and it's all about being happy. And I'm living the dream. I am living the dream, and it's all just the excitement. It's all just the excitement. Anyway, right, let's get back to some Celtic news. Um, that beer's honking back. No, it's not. One of the best beers to come out of Spain. Virgil van Dijk, Victor Wanyama, Fraser Foster, Musa Dumbelli, Tom Roderick, Lustig, all John Park signings, and then Brendan kicked him out back in the day. He wasn't that successful, John Parks, when he went to Sevco. You've got to remember he was at Sevco. Hand of God makes happiness. Well, she does that. What's the dream? What's the dream? What's the dream? The dream, it's not the time to talk about that, but the dream is basically chucking the 9 to 5, moving to a foreign country in the middle of lockdown and living a life of freedom. I love it when we get rid of some subscribers. I love it because it's folk that just don't get this channel. Folk that don't get this channel at all. They think that they think that everyone on Celtic media, they think that everyone in Celtic media should be professional journalists. This is the most unprofessional YouTube channel that you'll get. It is a YouTube channel. It is not professional. You want professional journalism? Go and read the Daily Record. Go and listen to Sky. Go and listen to the BBC. Or change YouTube channel and go and listen to Clyde FM. Anyway, wait. News for you. Bads, good evening, mate. Glenfiddich Chinese have arrived. Go on yourself, Martin. Right, let's get some more Celtic news before we call it quits for this evening. And need to just click on this. Live streaming. We have. This went awfully quiet. Wait. Clydebank, shame. Lol. That's terrible. Do you want to know a funny thing? The bass guitarist from Wet, I used to own his Mercedes AMG. It only had two owners before I bought it. And it was only the old boy that I bought it off that told me about it. Why is that not giving me all the stats? Why is it not giving me all the stats this evening? Stream settings, stats, viewer activity, analytics. YouTube's totally playing up tonight. I wonder when Josie told them. No idea. Right, let's click on that one. Grazer. Yeah, because we're just talking nonsense tonight, but who cares? 13 possible goalkeeper transfer targets as Joe Hart retirement as 12 million Liverpool star is solid choice. All the speculation will now begin on who Celtic will bring in as a goalkeeper. The 36-year-old has announced his retirement from Celtic in the summer. He joined the club in 2021 and has since won 2 Premiership titles and formed part of a treble-winning side. Hart was once England and Man City #1 with an honour-laden career. This one goes. He said, it's something that I've thought about for a while. There's no right or wrong time, is there? The way the club works at the moment, there's not much to it. I've poured my heart and soul into Celtic, and it's time to hang up the boots. I'm definitely not going to be here next season. So who will Celtic then turn to? That is the question. And the article doesn't go any further into it. An absolutely useless article. It doesn't go into it at all. I love it when articles do that. Joe Ledley says that Brendan Rodgers hasn't been given one thing that he wants at Celtic. Celtic ridiculously low Tynecastle. We spoke about that last night. And that seems about it. There's not a lot of Celtic news kicking around tonight. The Celtic news will all be around the fact that Joe Hart has left Celtic and he will be retiring. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to call it quits tonight because I am going to be rather busy for the rest of the night. So on that note, have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans. All